There's very little heat, but Jarrett did a good job on working over the leg, and the announcers, who on this night had a horrible product to call, did a very good job in this match. Finally, Jarrett gets the figure four, and Madden's analysis here was really good, pointing out that Nash has had 3 reconstructive surgeries on that knee, and he's lucky to even be walking. After a rope break, Nash started to come back, and despite Jarrett doing a good job working over the knee and Madden and Shivani doing an even better job of selling it, he got up and didn't sell it at all for the rest of the match. Conan hit him in the head with the ring bell for a teased one fall.
Oh, Lord.
It's just amazing to me that the announcers and you are putting all this thought into, all right, well, we know he's had knee issues. We'll just work a knee, and that is my finish. And everybody's on board with that. Nash just pops up, and it's like a cartoon ring bell. I mean, this is WCW. It is what it is.
It is. Yes, it is.
Listen, there's just all kinds of shenanigans. I mean, we're gonna hit people with bells. Disco's gonna attack the referee. Juventude's gonna hit Nash with a chair. I mean, just all kinds of shenanigans, including the power bombs to the cat. There's kicks that are missing by a foot, and then more power bombs. And here comes Charles Robinson, and Rick Steiner stops him, but he just turned. But maybe he forgot. Tank Abbott's in there. Scott Steiner's brawling. Tank Abbott has pounded on Nash, and Mysterio Jr. is given the Bronco Buster. Goldberg runs in for the save, but of course, waits forever. Nash points at Jarrett, which guaranteed he'd be the one getting speared, and Jarrett scored the pin. Goldberg, Russo, and Bischoff are all hugging as the show goes off the air. Star and a quarter. You know, listen, we've heard about Overbooked before. But I want to remind everybody, Conan's the bell ringer, Ray is the timekeeper, Disco's the belt keeper, Juventude's the ring announcer, Ernest Miller's the second referee, and we've still got Rick Steiner, Scott Steiner, Tank Abbott, Russo, Bischoff. I mean, I know we got to have story, but is Overbooked enough to describe what this is?
I mean, look, and there's no possible way to defend it, but I am going to take it all the way back 180. That the people that came there that night are not so much worried and got up the next day and at water cooler talk had these different conversations about being overbooked and this and that. It was entertaining. Look, we know because we're in the minutia of it and the grind and everything that goes with that. The whole, I mean, we could go in a rabbit hole on the Rick Steiner story, lack of story, the nonsensical part of it, even the Goldberg return, this whole thing. And I know they were trying to make him a heel and all this, but you could dissect all of this. And the filthy animals, that was another thing. That's what we didn't refer to it in the notes, I don't think, but Ray and Conan and Kidman and that group, they were very entertaining. But like, how did they get in this story? I guess was I say, Conrad. So I can talk out of both sides of my mouth on just the complete nonsensical overbooked crap on the one hand. Then the other hand, when you go back and watch it, I mean, it is what it is. And the people went, okay, Goldberg returned and he beat Nash. And now that's the chapter for now for WCW. The business side of it tells the story. I mean, it wasn't quite in, yeah, maybe it was in the financial death spiral, but it was year over year. My God, what a mess. Just what a freaking mess.
Yeah, it is a mess. And let's talk a little bit about just the sentiment backstage. I mean, after it's all said and done, is anybody thinking, man, we nailed it? That was a home run. I mean, I've heard like Mick Foley talk about when something goes really well, you know, that glow and that he called it a high, the high afterwards that everybody sort of feels this euphoria and everybody's excited. What was the feeling here after a show like this where you had all that stuff?
You know, think when it Conrad, I mean, I can't name an event or a TV, Nitro, a Thunder, a pay-per-view, but we had kind of got into I mean, you look back when Bischoff and Russo came back in April, there was a direction and there was some kind of buzz and optimism, but there was still that overriding cloud of, I'll call it WCW and lack of leadership. So I don't want to say or pretend that we went from this high in April, like, all right, we're going to turn this bad boy around. Then we do two or three title changes with me and Flair, and then Nash gives it back, and Jeff ends up champion. And then, okay, so now we've got to set up the return. It's like Bill coming back and keeping the title on me because that was the crux of his return. He beat he could have speared me and switched the title. And if the world heavyweight title is the most important prop, if you will, if that's what you want to call it, I think it's the main prop. And Bill returned, and he chose his return. Didn't return on the in ring. He returned on the crux of a world title match, and he sided with Jeff and Bischoff, Russo, and 7 or 8 other heels. It's like the dilution of Goldberg's return was diluted in the weeks building up to it. That's where, oh, Conrad, man, we could really go down the whole rabbit hole. Just the importance of the simplicity of telling stories is paramount. I mean, let the people digest what we're doing. And there was no way you could digest a tenth of that, let alone the weeks leading up to it that we went through and all the hogwash and nonsense. And man, Conrad, this, I mean, we've kind of did a whole episode on the results of a lack of leadership because there was, we can say Russo was writing it and Bischoff was editing in it. And just, just that culture, I guess, is where you're going. You asked me, was there a high when you came to the curtain? Yes, not so much, oh man, we did it. It was okay. For the set of circumstances, we did what we came to do. So there was good job, thanks for the match. Good job, thanks for the match. But I don't think anybody back then thought for a minute, all right, boys, this is going to turn the ship around. Just no way.